Start the meeting, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
James Altoff.
Here.
David Villalobos.
Here.
Lester Caper.
Present.
Norm Stick.
Here.
Bill Fisher.
Here.
Todd Wilkening.
Here.
Carl Brittenham.
Here.
Nick Mager.
Here.
Ralph Miller.
Present.
Nick Recupero is absent. David Austin is absent.
Okay, public comment? One time? 2 times? 3 times? Okay. This is the approval of the minutes of Wednesday, November 29th, 2003. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second? Second. Roll call vote, please.
James Altoff.
Yes.
David Villalobos.
Yes.
Lester Caper.
Yes, ma'am.
Norm Stick.
Yes. Thank you. VIPS report?
Hello everyone. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas. In front of you, you got November VIPS hours. Everybody made their hours for the month. We only had 6 details. Most of them were for the Ice Fest, but they're all accounted for. That's all I got.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Any new recruits?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for the last few crash calls we had. They were out there kicking butt out of the township. You've been helping. So welcome.
Police Department Communications.
Just want to send out a thank you. We send a thank you card to the Bill Gree family. We received a canine, or a donation to the canine fund in memory of her mother, Tammy Bilgree, who works in the town hall side. They donated to our canine fund. So, I don't recall the exact amount, but so we'll send them a thank you card.
Okay. Finance.
So you got a copy of the. It's not in order here. Hold on.
No. Purchase orders?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Should be the 5th one down. No, that's what it's called.
There we go. 12 expenditure.
There we go. Yeah, I don't have that.
This is just an expenditure report.
Yeah. Should have received the original packet. We didn't really have that much going on. We did purchase some things in preparation for the new station, for the armory and stuff like that. A couple of renewals that we put through. We had some vehicle work done on brakes for a vehicle, which are $1,800.
Bill, we need to see numbers and stuff.
I don't know what to tell you. It was sent over. It was on the packet.
It's not here.
I don't set this up, sir.
No.
This is the only thing?
She sent she sent us the packet through.
The email.
That won't come up on here. Yeah, you did send her. She did through.
Well, that doesn't do us any good to approve stuff. I mean,
Well, it should be.
Yeah, I mean.
You know what? It looks like it's attached to the VIPS report. Touch the VIPS report and pull it all the way up.
yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Expenditure?
Yep.
Okay.
On the VIPs.
Oh, you got it hidden down there. All right. That's different.
Let's look at it again. Here we go.
Yeah. Ordered the golf cart stickers for 2024, sent some flowers out. There you see the brake job for one of the squads. Membership renewals. No, we have to buy the stickers for the town. That was our, the evidentiary breath test, that's our maintenance agreement with the state of Indiana. Then you can see the, stuff we got for the armory. Yeah, that's about it. Normal.
How long was Johnny boarded for this amount?
7 days, I think it was. They went on vacation.
For vacation?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 days. I think he went on a Friday and they picked him up the following Thursday, so it might be just shy of 7 days.
And where's he boarded at?
They boarded him in Hobart this time.
And how did he do with the boarding?
I think at one point they did have to give him a little doggy downer just to keep him calm, but he did okay.
And are we ever gonna meet the dog?
Oh, we haven't brought him in here yet? I apologize.
Break the
I'm
law,
sorry, Charlie, I will do that the first of the year for you.
Just break the law, Charlie.
Well, we'd like to meet him.
I understood. I thought I brought him in, I apologize.
Try running, you'll meet him.
Start running.
Okay, you wanna move on to, continue? How
You got a
about-
copy of the training report next?
Yes.
I gotta find it. There we go. All right, so the month of November, just had a little bit of training. Myself, my commander, and the training coordinator went to Hobart for the Indiana case law update. Had one officer do domestic violence training at NILEA. One officer did instruction for defensive tactics at NILEA. Then a couple officers did SWAT training. We had one officer did 16 hours for school safety specialist, and then we had the 2 new recruits that did retraining down at the academy, or down at the range with the rifles, the 2 newest recruits, 60 and 61. And then our negotiator had CNT training.
Under rifle training, what is R123?
That's Reserve Officer 123.
Okay?
What is federal OIG training?
Federal OIG.
Government Center.
Oh, that was a grants
First
class?
one.
That was a grants class.
Okay.
That was in October.
Okay. I just wondered what that was.
Yeah. So that was a class, that was something that was mandatory that the grant writer had to go to for updates, for legal updates.
Ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay, equipment, number 7.
Other than we have a few vehicles in for repair right now for some crashes that happened over the weekend. So far, so good.
So do you have enough standby cars?
Luckily, we do. We just gave them back the cars that they gave to us when we gave them the new car.
Okay, number 8, monthly activity reports.
You can see the monthly activity report. We had 1,064 calls, still averaging around 40 calls per day. We had 162 total citations for the month. We had 506 total warnings for the month. We had 19 total arrests with 45 charges filed, 23 misdemeanor, 14 felony. We had a total of 291 arrests for the year with a total of 472 charges for the year. You can see that in statistics right after that on the analysis that you get with the law incidents and arrest incidents. For town ordinance, in the month of November, 50 citations were issued and 18 warnings. For the month of November, we had a total of 2 canine call-outs. Like I said, he was on vacation for part of that time too.
guys ready to move on? Questions?
So when we tag an abandoned vehicle, what happens after it's tagged the first time?
It's up to the officer's discretion on him, but they can tag the vehicle for 72 hours. If they don't remove it, they can tow it. Or if their goal is to just get them to move it, then they may call them, give them an extra extended period of time. They could tag the vehicle and the person call them saying, hey, I'm out on vacation, I won't be back till next week, I can take care of it then. So it just depends on the scenario.
But I mean, are we getting rid of cars in town or not, or?
What do you mean getting rid of them? Yes.
Well, after they're
We're writing tickets for them, sure.
We wrote,
Sometimes we write tickets for them and it takes us 8 months to go to court on it, so we can't do anything until we go to court.
okay.
And we don't tow cars off of private property.
So then we just keep ticketing them and,
Till we go to court.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Lexipol, policy updates.
Okay, so the Lexipol group, what do we call that group? The, group met last Thursday to go over our policies. So we got quite a few of them. They should be in a list, but we believe we should be starting with 414, I'm hoping. You can see on the Lexipol review synopsis. So, policy number 414 is for field training. We did a complete update on the field training policy. This one, we corrected it as far as our hours in which we work, because that wasn't there. We better defined the phases in which the officers are, should say we okay over there, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think the policies
Number
themselves
9.
are in there, are they? They might be, yes.
Yeah, they are, but they're,
They're attached to something else?
well, they're numerically listed, and we're jumping from 200 to 400, so I could...
Okay. Let's go, I mean,
He's
I'll try to go
top
in
one here,
numerical.
414,
Okay,
that's what he's talking about right now. So you gotta run the whole list up to find 414.
then we have to find here.
Okay, let's start off with 203 then.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the way it's
Be a lot
listed
easier.
here.
I can't understand how it's
I'm there.
organized like this. All right, policy 203. So I want to start off by saying this. So the state, or Lexipol came to us and they have decided that the Law Enforcement Training Board, so when I say LETB, I'm going to refer to the Law Enforcement Training Board, and their uniform statewide mandated policies. So Lexipol, last year, if you recall, for our vehicle pursuits and use of force, we had massive updates within those, both based on the state's requirement saying you have to have this in policy. So Lexipol, we modified a bunch of ours. Well, Lexipol went back in and said, you know what, rather than do that, we're going to remove all of this stuff and just put C, Law Enforcement Training Board, or LETB, Training Board's Uniform Standard Policy. So that's what we're doing now. So the Uniform Standard Policy from the state of Indiana is now going to be attached to each one of those policies that reflect it, or it's in there. So if I say LETB policy on deadly force, then that is referring to the Law Enforcement Training Board's uniform statewide policy on deadly force. Or if I say the same thing for defensive tactics, because there's about 4 of them, I believe, use of force, deadly force, vehicle pursuits, and defensive tactics, that they have mandated policies now. Okay? So you guys understand that. So on policy 203, if you look on updated, it's on page number 2, 203.4.1, number 4, that is an updated LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force as well as defensive tactics. They also added or moved some of the required training to different times. An example of that, we used to have mandatory biannually cardio or CPR training and Heimlich maneuver training. They went from biannually to annually mandatory training for that now. So they had a couple of those changes, and then moved one down to every 3 years. So that was policy 203. Any questions? Just make sure you tell me the number we're on. 302 next, is that correct?
We got 210, right?
Let me find, I know,
210's in a different category. 210 is a critical.
I know, but they have them under.
Yeah, so if you want to do 210.
All right. Okay, so 210 is one of our critical ones as an update. This is a This is the Law Enforcement Training Board's uniform statewide policy on defensive tactics. This was a complete brand-new policy that was created by the training board, and it described now 14 different areas of defensive tactics that officers have to be trained in every 2 years, all 14 areas. So that's what policy 210 is referring to.
And the effective date on this one is January 1st. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
we had to do this right away, because it
Yes,
takes effect in a week or so.
300 now?
Another courtesy. Use of force.
Policy number 300 is use of force, okay? This entire policy was updated due to the LETB policy on use of force. They removed many definitions because the LETB policy has the definitions in them. So they removed multiple definitions, they moved some things around. Policy 300.2.1, paragraph number 2, says any officer who observes another officer, law enforcement officer, or member use of force that is potentially beyond that which is objectively reasonable under the circumstances, if they're removing shall have the duty, and not putting and does not intercede shall have the duty to report these observations to the supervisor. Okay? Then the other updates are basically reflective of that of the LETB update. Any questions?
302.
Policy 302, handcuff restraints. The only thing that was added was the second section of that policy, 302.2. They added the LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force and defensive tactics program. That was the only thing that was changed in that one. Policy 303 had quite a few of this, 303, correct? This had grammatical changes that they wanted to update, as well as page number 1, they added LETB deadly force and LETB defensive tactics. On page number 3, they added LETB deadly force, and on page 5, they added both of them as well. Policy 304, page number 4, 304.6. They recommended to remove the terms "and video recording." This is on documentation of a conducted energy device. As you know, we have body cameras, so we elected to not remove that. That will still be there. So photographs and video recordings will be taken from our body cameras. On page number 6, 304.9, it says they wanted to change that to a CED instructor, but we run everything through a training coordinator, so we're going to remain that as our training coordinator. And they added the LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force and defensive tactics. Policy 305. The only thing that was changed was 305.7, which is number 6, and they added the LETB policy on deadly force to it. Policy 306, firearms. Page number 7 was updated. They added the LETB deadly force. And then on 306.7, we are going to keep the section that says letter B, which says if off duty at the time of the incident, the member shall immediately or as soon as practical notify the on-duty supervisor and then submit a written report. And that was for dischargement of a firearm. We will keep that. 307. On policy 307, which is vehicle pursuits, only updated was on page 14, 307.12, letter D. They added the LETB use of force, or deadly force to it.
Wait, hold on, let me find page 14 here, there's a lot of pages this.
Yes, sir. Page 14.
Okay, there we go.
Page 14, 307.12, letter D, number 6, they added any use of force shall be reported and documented in compliance with the use of force policy and the LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force. 308, page number 5, if you will look at that, we want to reject on page number 5, the statement, it says, and we're not sure why it is, but it says, in any case in which a suspect is not apprehended and there is insufficient information to support further investigation, a supervisor may authorize that the initiating officer need not complete a formal report, which we always complete a report, even if there's no charges, there's still going to be something documented. So we're going to reject that, but we did add, just above that, the LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force. 323, report preparations. Page number 2, policy 323.5.1. We're going to reject the letter E, where it says, where the victim desires a report. And then it says misdemeanor crimes where the victim does not desire a report shall be documented using the department-approved alternative reporting method, like a dispatch log. We're not doing that. They're still going to do a report. If they don't want to follow through, they don't have to, but we're still going to document it in a report. Also rejecting letter K, which it says this is for non-criminal activity, but it says when the incident is ongoing problem or another officer may have to respond again. So that they don't have to do anything, but we're still going to because you want to let the next crew know what's going on. They added the statewide policy on deadly force also.
So you already did 414?
I have not done 414 yet. I started to, but stopped. So policy 414 is complete redo. This policy is on our field training for our new recruits. I had our field training coordinator go through the entire policy, make sure all the anything that's in that policy that relates to a policy that they're accurate, that the numbers are accurate. We also updated quite a bit on there on what the process is for brand new recruits, their process, who they're riding with, all that information, the duration of their training time, minimum qualifications, also for recruits that we get, like we discussed earlier, that may have law enforcement experience already. We have put in within that policy that allows us to reduce their FTO time, but we'll still have a mandatory 2 weeks in each phase. Their evaluations, their rotation on how they're rotating through, and then on the back side, on the last policy 414.4.5, I did this to try to help with our field training officers and some compensatory time. So it says a certified field training officer shall be compensated 1 hour of compensatory time at overtime rate per shift for the field training officer evaluates a trainee. So every time an FTO trains, which is only about 20 days, or I think it's 14 days a month, they get an hour and a half of comp time back. The most they can earn in a 1 month times 20 hours. That just gives them a little bit of something because we don't have the funds with the town to give them something because they're a field training officer and they're doing a lot more than what a regular road officer is. Any questions? Okay. 422. This is a pretty simple one. This is for the ALPRs, which is automatic license plate reader. The biggest thing is this, we got the flock system now in the town. So originally when this was written, we had only access to Vigilant. So what we're doing is removing the requirements for Vigilant, just taking that out completely on letter D, page number 2. And then we're adding in the training requirements in the ALPR system 422.4.1. So just those 4 lines that talk specifically about Vigilant, they will just be all included in the training policy. 23. 423 medical aid and response, page number 3, 423.7, they added the LETB requirement on use of force.
Okay, I skip here from 422 to 424. You got 423?
Nope.
I don't have 423.
423 should have been in there.
424 is next.
I don't have it either.
Do you guys have a problem with when you update things? Sometimes they renumber.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah, we do the same, because
So what's 424? I mean,
423 is medical aid response.
Okay.
That's the policy on that. And the only thing that updated was they added the LETB requirement of use of force. They added that.
Okay.
Another state mandated one. 424 is First Amendment assemblies. On page 5, the only thing that was changed was 427.7. They added the LETB requirement for use of force. Excuse me. Policy 507, traffic procedures, page number 5, policy 507.4, they added the LETB requirement on deadly force. Page 707, we had several pages that changed. It had a lot of saying that they wanted us to change like from patrol commander to operations director, but we don't have an operations director on the police side. We have the patrol commander, so we're rejecting those. For high-risk warrants, we wanted the operations director again to do that, and we changed that. That'll stay the chief of police will be notified. They added the LETB on 707.8, LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force. We're also, again, keeping the patrol commander in there. Yeah, and that's it. The rest of them are grammatical updates. 1001. Policy 1001 was an update that we found. This is related to temporary custody of juveniles, page 4, 1001.5. This is specific. So when we take a juvenile into custody by Indiana law and arrest them for one of the specific areas that are described in Indiana Code 313743, says that we must notify the schools of these. So what we have done is we wanted to update this because, you know, if an officer's on midnights and now he's got to get up and notify the superintendent of the school, it might be difficult. So what we decided to do was that we will put that back on the administration, and when we will, because we get copies of reports every morning, so if an arrest is made or charges are filed on a juvenile that meet the criteria under Indiana Code 313743A, then we will notify the superintendent directly by email or by telephone.
How does he red flag that to you?
One more time, sir.
How does he red flag that? How does he notify you?
We read the reports every morning,
Every report?
every report.
Okay, so he doesn't, you know,
Correct.
give you any specific notification?
It is red flagged also.
There is some kind of notification, so
Yep.
you don't miss it?
Yeah, so he gets red flagged on juvenile names as well.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions?
well, it says, I'm on 101.5, and it says the law enforcement agency should notify the school,
No, it says, it should be shall.
Shall of the law,
so is that
Where-
a correction?
Where are you at?
that's a mandate.
1001.5,
Yeah, what,
We
what
went
line?
over this. The third line in the paragraph says you shall notify, and then the fifth line says you should notify, but those are two different.
should and shall,
Oh, that should be shall also. We did talk about that,
Yes, we
and you
did.
know what, it was missed. We will correct that. So the first one refers to different schoolings, non-public, and the second one refers to public schooling,
okay, thank you.
but that should also be shall. Yeah, we did discuss that. Thank you for catching that. We actually had a good conversation about it. 11:30. On number 11:30, which is line of duty deaths, this had many, many updates on it, but most of them were related to survivors and their children. It had updates on us creating, having personnel to be assigned to that family during the time of grieving and funerals, assigning personnel to the hospital. We're also adding the Indiana State FOP in this because they have a funeral detail that will help out from start to finish with all of what needs to happen, so without going into great detail. Also describes the benefit programs, financial assistance for through the public safety officers education. Any questions? On 1131, that's the wellness program. Page 2, number 1131.3, letters number 6, 7, and 8. We removed those.
What were the numbers again? I'm sorry. 11,
1131.3,
okay.
number 6, 7, and 8. And we removed those because we realized that what happens if we lose this particular EAP program that we're with, or the people that are having it for us. So they got moved to the procedure, which can be modified without having to go in front of the Board of Safety, simply because if we get a different EAP program, then we have to modify the whole program. So, and it really is no big deal.
So they're already taken out, because I'm not,
Yeah, the one you're looking at doesn't.
6, 7, and 8 are gone already?
No, they're not gone yet. You might just got an updated version.
Because I don't have them on here.
Well, you got it on your email.
Okay.
That's the first one that Sarah sent out, that's all the updates of the original.
Okay.
She'll prepare a hard copy for us of that.
Yeah, once you guys approve it, then we'll go back in and actually approve them in Lexipol, and then we will print them all out, so you can put them in your books. But all of them came through on the email with the original, hey, these are mandatory updates that we had to do. And then the last one, you should have, is 340 in there? You got emailed on 340, I know that. So that was just the new LETB uniform statewide policy on deadly force. All it did was added that one to it, which is the email you got from Sarah, correct? Remember that? And then policy 904 was a brand new one that we actually found today. So that was, it's a pretty simple one, and all it did which you got a copy of it on your desk, and this is on protected information, and basically stipulates, the new law says, that officers are prohibited from broadcasting on a radio that is not encrypted a person's social security number.
I lost the whole thing. How do I get back? So just to let the guys know, that was a very quick run-through of all those policies. Norm and I sat with the chief and Sarah, and we went line by line through all of these policies. And basically, most of that was just a new state law, and it was being incorporated to all the policies as they exist, so they'd be compliant.
And it actually takes 3 hours.
And some of them, we went line by line and had in-depth discussions about the modifications, and so we were satisfied that everything is the way it should be now. So these new modifications are gonna be good.
I'm fine.
Done? Okay, motion to approve.
Do you need me to read off the policy numbers?
For the record, I think we should.
For the record? All right. So your motion, if you would please, to approve policy numbers 414, 422, 1001, 300, 340, 210, 203, 302, 303, 304, 305, 306, 307, 308, 323, 423, 424, 507, 707, 906, is it 906? 904, I'm sorry, 904, 1130, and 1131.
Thank you. Do you remember all those?
No, I lost a couple of them, but I'll make a motion.
You want me to do it
approve-
again?
No, because we're gonna make a
Charlie made
motion
the
to
motion,
approve the,
Second, please.
Lexipol numbers that Bill ran off.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call vote.
James Olthoff?
Yes.
David Villalobos?
Yes.
Lester Caper?
Yes, ma'am.
Norm Stick?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Do you have anything else?
Sir, the only thing I have left is if you guys would like to put the list together from the interviewees, that would be the last thing, would be a modification of the, agenda.
Did we
That-
not
that is-
talk about we wasn't gonna do that until next month?
Oh, no, it was still discussion. If that's what you wanna do, I'm okay with that. I'm just, whatever you guys
That's
decide.
not going anywhere a month.
Okay.
Okay, fire department, communications,
Currently, I have no communications.
okay, number 12, finances, purchase orders,
Okay. Purchase orders, as you'll see,
Thank you. Am I back where I'm supposed to be?
Do you have purchase orders in yours?
that here,
Where are you at? Where did you go in? 14? 12?
page 112, 16.
Thank you.
under the expenditure report, you'll see a bunch of POs as well. You guys got it in front of you?
We did a lot better with carbon paper.
There we go.
Might have to
Okay.
go back to it.
16.
Okay.
Okay, it's on 16, got it.
What is this Silk Screen Express? Is that something local, or?
That's the, company we use for uniforms.
Is that locally, or?
No, it's not. It's out of, Tinley Park, but we will be switching back to, our old vendor,
Is that someone locally?
yes.
And these are each individual, or is this?
Yep.
I can barely read this, it's so small.
If you go to the section, under 101-005-231, you can see a lot of those are the actual, parts and equipment as well. And under 005 fire department, those are miscellaneous supplies that were bought throughout the month. There's a lot this last month, because we're finalizing the year, so. If you go down to where J&M, which would be page 4, you can start to see the equipment that's been worked on and cost, for fire truck repairs.
Isn't that, when they had to, do when that lady did the reporting?
Oh, is that the company?
I think so.
Any questions?
No, I was just questioning Norm on what this,
The deposition,
is that Stuart Richardson?
Stuart Richardson, court reporters.
That's fine, thank you.
You see the ladder truck repairs on there? That also included servicing and getting it ready for, or complete inspection of the truck as well.
Is that the 19,000?
No, it's the 31,000.
Pass all inspections?
It did. We do have a switch problem with it on the turntable. Right now, we're waiting for a switch, so it won't allow us to, bring the ladder down after it's up. If it's on off the side of the truck, so we have to manually override it. So it's just a $200 switch holding the truck up, so.
In service though?
In service, it can pump, it can respond on calls, it can do all that stuff. Various extra rescue tools. Action Plumbing at the fire station was for some pipes that were plugged up. It's an ongoing yearly problem with some of the plumbing at the old plumbing at the station that Norm did when he was, back in the day.
You should have him come back and fix it.
We did have a catastrophic failure of one of our overhead doors, which we were lucky that, they had the cable that did run through the spring, or it would have went through the windshield of our ambulance.
One of those new ones in the front?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the door itself is new, but the assembly or the.
Oh, they didn't replace they just did the panels?
Yep.
Okay. That's why they put the spray, that's why they do that.
That's why that cable's in there.
That's like a bullet, that
Yep.
spring extended.
Okay.
Can we move on?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
Grants, under that same line item, we did, receive notification that we did not receive the SAFER grant, for personnel. And obviously, we will write it again, but, only 2 agencies in Indiana received the grant, Indianapolis and Noblesville, I think were the 2, out of Indiana, so.
Those are both pretty good sized
Yeah,
departments.
well, they probably pay big money for a grant writer, so, but no doubt.
But you just got word of that, right?
Yeah, I just found out about that like
You
last
were in
week.
it, you were in it till the end.
We made it a long way in that process. I was very
There's
surprised.
probably 4 different.
Oh, 4, maybe 5 rounds of cuts,
So
yeah.
you made it to the 5th.
Yeah, I would guess it would be the 5th, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Better.
Okay, 13?
Staffing situation right now, we have, we have one out with an injury. That he just had surgery, so he'll be out for another couple months while he does rehab. We have replaced one that we lost. That person is working. And we have one that's waiting to go through the PERF process. I'm sorry. Going through the PERF process right now to replace the other one that we lost. We have 3 part-timers that we want to hire, but are, in a holding pattern with the clerk treasurer's office right now, for the onboarding, so.
Okay, number 14.
And then hopefully,
Are you done?
we do have 2 that is slated to hire next year. And we have our list and interviews that we've done, so, after the first of the year, we can meet with the new council, and discuss, that plan as well.
The guy who's going through the perf now, how long before he's up and running?
But he could be working part-time for us now, but, Jennifer won't onboard him. So, it could be between, once his paperwork's done, he just got through the physical process, so we're signing a bunch of paperwork tomorrow and it'll be sent down. It could be another 3 or 4 more weeks. Yeah, which means the full-timers are gonna be working overtime, covering it.
Can we move on to 14, please?
14, training, I'll give that to the chief training officer, Chief Hunter.
Commission, you can see for the monthly totals of November, 917 total hours logged. Within your packet, you can see breakdown by session and also by hours, by category.
Okay, what am I, so there it is, 917 hours.
The last time we spoke, you said that you were training 6 days a week?
Yes.
Okay.
Sundays and holidays are shift officer discretion.
Very good.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, 15.
Equipment. Going back to the discussion of, ladder truck, like I gave you an update on that. Our frontline engine 1212 we are converting it currently into an advanced life support engine as well, so that we can have all the ambulance equipment that's basically on an ambulance to provide care on our engine as well. When our paramedics are on the engine, we'll be able to start advanced life support for care without an ambulance being there, while we wait for mutual aid, because we're running so many calls now, we're mutual aiding quite a few calls, so the engine can actually start care, start IVs, start doing everything you could do in an ambulance. Having all the tools and the equipment we need. We have enough supplies, we didn't really have to purchase that much. We did have a spare monitor that we'll be using on that truck. It's a little bit older, but it works. And, a lot of the supplies we were able to get from the hospital as well, and piecing everything together. So it won't take any one of the 3 current ambulances out of service as far as equipment's concerned, but it will help us, going from that one call to the next call when we don't have an ambulance, we can start care with the engine. So that's been a long time coming. We just finally got the, box. It has to be a secured box built into the truck. Just got it done, 90%. We're waiting on a couple things that have to be done to it, and it'll be in service hopefully by March, I'm guessing. The new engine, we haven't heard too much on it, other than we did get a paint scheme. But it is in the assembly process line to be slated to start here very quickly. And then it's a long, drawn-out process. We're still on hold on the new ambulance. Another discussion that will be held with the new council coming in to discuss that process on, replacing an ambulance that's much needed. I also went out and started pricing a new truck for myself for the chief's truck, and I am waiting on, I went to Dodge because Chief Fisher said they really are cutting us some pretty good deals, and I sat down with them to get a pickup truck, and they're willing to do some amazing things right now to get our business and keep our business, so I'm impressed with that. What I didn't know is that group is also part of a group that has ATVs as well. They sell out of Illinois. So if we're looking to ever replace any of our ATVs, our little brush buggy that we have, they'll also be able to build us something really, really neat. They want to do some sort of contribution to it, so we could get something, either police or fire in the future that, they'll donate a lot of the cost, so. Other equipment, I don't think there's anything else off the top of my head. Chief Mondry, you got anything? Just regular maintenance going on. Ladder testing will be being done here pretty soon. We did get bumped on the ladder testing. It was supposed to be done in November, but because UL was so far behind, they're gonna bump us until the first of the year. So, if you see the truck up in the air with weights hanging from it and stuff like that, it's being tested.
Did you say the new engine is in production or slated?
What they told us is that it's in effect an assembly line, which means they're putting all the parts aside for what's needed for it. They're not assembling it yet. That's the only thing we've heard. And we have a paint color scheme that we picked out. So, it's to the point of no return. The truck's being built.
Okay, we'll move on to 16.
The activity report, as you can see, incidents-wise, on the first page, overlapping incidents have become even more. We're at 26% of the time when we go out on one call, we're receiving another call, depleting our personnel. And the incidents by day of week, you can see Wednesdays are heavy hitter day now. And then by the time of day, 1600 is pretty busy, and I would say that's because of car crashes and people coming home from work. We get quite a few we almost can time it. What do you police guys think? Almost time it in the afternoon. We're going to probably get a crash somewhere, around 4, between 3:30 and maybe 5. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the traffic backs all the way up to 109th or 129th now on 41. That's how far it backs up at night sometimes. So it's pretty hectic there. Overall yearly totals as of the End of November, we were at 1,900 calls, which actually did beat our record for last year total. And as of right now, we are at 2,040 calls for the year. The most prominent medical call is basically the sick person call, which is kind of a catch-all call. Anywhere from somebody just being overall just sick, having the flu or something like that, or somebody that is vomiting or something like that. So, one here. Our overdoses for the year, I believe, went down, which was kind of a nice trend to see go down, and hopefully it will go down further. But our lift assists have become almost every day, a couple times a day, we're doing lift assists for people falling. So for the month of November, we were at 157 calls, 9 structure fires, and 9 PI accidents are a couple that stand out. Unconscious calls could be anywhere from a full arrest to just when people call it in, they'll call it in and the subject's unconscious, and then the dispatcher starts asking questions and what, you know, whether or not they're breathing and unconscious or not. So.
What is an EMS
Unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be it for the actual activity report, always.
And then the Lexapol, we're going to revisit that next month.
Yeah, the biggest one on Lexapol was the wellness program. That was one that we did mirror the police departments, and our committee found it to be acceptable as well. So the PD and the fire department will have the exact same policy on wellness. Ours just says some of the NFPA standards that are in there, and to where theirs have their own police laws or standards and IC code.
So do you have anything for 18 other?
Yeah, I do. I have, I've reported to you that we have a possibility of getting a dog for the fire department as well. In the past, well, it's come to the point now where we can get a dog for, it's gonna be a comfort dog / search dog for missing people. We do have an opportunity to get this dog. We have a handler on our department that's trained. We also have all expenses to it being paid as far as the dog itself, as far as the food, and a commitment to health and wellness for the dog as well. But we would take some training time as well as far as, but we would, he would do the training either while he was on duty at the fire station, and this would obviously be, this dog would go home with him as well, be able to respond to the region and to obviously our department when we have missing kids and whoever else would help track. But for the most part, it'd be more of a comfort dog as far as dealing with tragic situations, being in the schools and stuff like that to help kids. Go from there. So at the next commission meeting, I'm going to ask Todd, paramedic Garati, to come and do a presentation for you, so you guys can see what it's about, and then make a decision whether or not you guys would approve moving forward with it. So
I don't know if you could get that done in one meeting or not. That's a lot to consider.
then we can do it whatever meeting you want to do it. We do have a timeline on the dog. I don't think I think it's like March or something like that. But if you wanted to do it, when's our next meeting, the 24th? We don't have a early meeting in January because of the holiday, right?
No.
So it'll be at the end of the month. If I could get it on that agenda, that'd be good. If not, we can shoot for February. It's up to you, commissioners.
Okay.
So do you have estimated cost on this dog, what it's gonna cost at all, or?
Well, we have, right now, everything is donated, so there's no cost at all. Food, care, everything, so.
What about liability? Is
we're gonna look at that and have something back by that presentation night, so that'll all be in.
So this dog will only be at the station when the trainer's at the station?
Yes. But he has to be available when needed.
And who's donating, who's paying for the dog?
Organization out of, Michigan. Or, I'm sorry, Wisconsin, I'm sorry. I can't remember the name of it.
Would that include a kennel at the handler's home?
Yep, everything included, so. He'll have, like I said, he'll have the whole thing laid out and spelled out for all of you.
Yeah, how long is this commitment for the food and the wellness care?
We were told indefinitely. That's what he was told, I should say. Hopefully that will be the headliner in the presentation.
You have anything, any other questions?
Yeah. What is the price of the new engine? Do you know off the top of your head?
1.1 million, almost 2.
Equipped.
Yeah, with equipment.
1.2?
Yeah, close to 1.2 million, I think. That's with all the equipment as well.
Okay. And like, is this 6 months or 8 months, 10 months, 12 months?
A year.
A year away?
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Austin?
My legal recourse is for the executive session. I don't
Okay,
have anything to close.
thank you. Anything, Ralph?
I'm good.
Thank you. New building update?
They're moving along. They get the walls up at the fire station now, and the police department is closed in with heat being pumped in so they can start drywalling and installing all the stuff, so.
Okay, is there anything in for other?
I'd just like to thank Ralph for his dedication to the commission for being liaison for the last, how many years?
Likewise.
Thank you, Ralph.
Pleasure working with you, Ralph.
I just have a few questions for Petey. Are the dogs working out good now? Our dog, Petey dog?
Mhm.
Good. Okay, and our new patrolman?
She's doing fantastic, yeah. She, got released a week and a half ago. I take it back, it was 2 weeks ago, because she actually had some personal days, so she got released and then went on vacation for a week, so.
Nice.
But, she's doing good, she worked days today, so. That's good.
I have just a question that came up quite a while ago. That neighborhood issue at 7,000 West 127th Place, anything come of that yet? Has anything been resolved or, a problem child there?
It's ongoing. Charges have been filed in certain areas, and it is ongoing, but we do what we can, I can tell you that.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, public comment? What-
Here's Joan Dixon, 8711 West 132nd Place. Maybe Billy will answer this, but it's, for the comp time for the trainer, is that in a salary ordinance? Is that listed as a salary ordinance, is that just something you do, or?
It was just something in policy to give them an hour and a half back in comp time.
Okay, and then the dog for the fire department, there's no additional, salary given to the person who's training the dog?
No.
Well, he has to on his off days.
Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be part of the presentation, so this is really premature.
Okay,
So it'll be all spelled out in there.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Public comment twice. Public comment 3 times. Just want to notify everybody that there will be meeting in an executive session immediately after we adjourn the meeting.
When's our next meeting?
If we have nothing else to, before us, I declare the meeting adjourned.